Sean, before we can talk about Burnley, I just want to talk about Liverpool winning the title. It's been a foregone conclusion for some time, but I mean, the manner in which they've done it this season and stepped up to a challenge that Manchester City presented, I guess, from a manager's point of view, has been astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Early season when we were talking about it, if you remember, I thought they'd do it. And then I did get questioned for saying they can win ugly, and then everyone changed my words around like they do. I meant it as a complete compliment because I think even the top sides, they know that winning when it's not quite your day to perform as well as you can, that's the secret to winning titles. It's not about the days when you're hot, because the days when you're hot, with all due respect to ourselves, even us, when we're really on it, we can challenge anyone in the division, but we have to be on it to deliver to get the results. Them clubs right at the top, it's the quiet days. It's the day when then it's not quite as smooth sailing. They're the days that win your titles, and I think they've done that fantastically well. And they've just been not on their performance level. They've still, finished games off and killed games off, and they deserve a massive amount of credit. All of them, not just the manager, all of them involved.
And clearly a huge thing, just because they've waited so long and suddenly they've got a title that people will talk about forever, not only because 30 years, but because it's the conditions and situation we find ourselves in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I suppose weirdly, because there was a lot of noise about whether this would continue, whether, they'd get the title because of all the COVID things. So I suppose weirdly, with the way they've done it, sort of running away with it and the COVID thing, like you say, I think it'll be remembered sort of even more so. I think everyone would agree in football, before even the lockdown and this unfortunate thing that's happened to the world, not just our country, but I think we all thought they're worthy, that's for sure. And it would have been a shame not to have finished the season and not to allow them to seen it through properly. But I still think they'd have been worthy of the title, that's for sure.
And they said that teams are built in that manager's images. I guess you'd say that of Jurgen Klopp and the way he goes about things. I mean, he's a driven individual, and that's a driven football team, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's built over time, though. I will say that, and I think sometimes people forget that. He's afforded that time by moulding a team, of course. He spent heavily, but with the right players. Van Dyche, for me, is best centre-half in the world. He's matured as a player. He doesn't just play as an individual. When he was slightly younger, maybe that's like a trait of a younger player. But now, with his maturity, I think he's first class on every level. And he's been a massive, massive player for him, in my opinion, on the change to be close than to be in the real thing. And the keeper as well, to be fair. I think he's been marvellous. So, but there's some, I do think Jordan Henderson, for me, I said it in the Champions League final last year in an awkward game, boiling hot. He did all the ugly stuff that the team need from a player like him. So I think there's many players there that have done fantastically well.
Are they one of the only teams that are as fit or fitter than you?
Well, look, let's have it right. It depends how you're defining fitness, the way you play, the way you want to play, the players you've got, their physical capacity, their makeup physically. So I don't want to start getting involved in what we've got, but I think they are a fit side. I think I think it's more their alertness. I said the other night at Man City, and I said to our players afterwards, I said, look, of course they have talent, but it's their alertness, how quickly they see the picture, how quickly they smell the chance to affect games on counter or with quality, from set pieces as well. But mainly as the game is in flow, they break up the play quickly and they react quickly. So on transition, which I think has been a big change in the Premier League over the last 2 to 3 seasons, that rapid exchange of transition and knowing when to keep the ball to calm the game down, but when to go for the throw. And I think they found a really good balance for that.
Are they head and shoulders with City above everyone else, or is this gap going to close with the likes of Chelsea spending money, United looking to get their kind of house in order, or are those two just too far apart?
No, I don't think it's as simple as that, football. Because every year you think, well, I mean, let's face it, we didn't think this was going to happen to Liverpool. I personally thought they'd do it this year, but I thought it'd be close. Well, it hasn't been. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a closer affair next season. I don't think at this stage I can see the top 6 being really broken, although Leicester are continually spending. Not just spending, by the way, they're developing as well. Everton have had a real go. So there are teams just on the edge of it. But breaking into them big teams is very, very difficult, especially when they've got a bank of players and a depth of players and a playing staff of really high quality. So whether them two can get affected, there's a chance. As you said, Man U are finding their feet slowly but surely. I'd be amazed if they don't invest powerfully like they usually do. Chelsea look like they're definitely investing. Arsenal maybe transition. Tottenham may be different. We don't know yet. And when this season finishes and the next season starts, amongst others. But they're the main runners and riders, and I'll be surprised if they're not again.
And Jurgen Klopp dancing last night. I don't imagine you're a dancer. I know you like your music, but I don't think you're a dancer, right?
Au contraire. Love my dancing. Well known for it. I've got a couple of moves. And we were talking about this actually on Crouchy's podcast the other day, and Michael Keane's got a nice little shot of me moving when we got the second promotion. So, no, I quite like a dance. Don't worry about that.
Quick feet for a big man.
I'm not sure about quick feet. I didn't say anything about my style, did I? Just cut a few shapes and hope for the best.
On the drive home last night, did you reflect on a strong end to a strange, odd week?
Yeah, odd on the pitch, odd off the pitch. For varying reasons, different challenges. I said after, it doesn't solve everything by any means, but what it does, it just reminds our players and our staff and the club, we are a football club. There are other things that have happened that have affected that, but at the end of the day, we're there to play football. So it was refreshing to get out there and get on with that side of things. And like I say, it doesn't solve everything by any means, but at least it brings us back to, okay, we've got a job to do, and that's to play football Manchester and to win. So the focus was on that, and I thought the players were fantastic because it has been a tough time for the club and for the players, and myself in many ways. So it's good to see the clarity of performance come out and win a game.
Yeah, I read your remarks, and they sounded, when I talk about your remarks about the chairman and about the players that have been allowed to leave or have left, that they sounded fed up. And I saw you on the touchline last night. You looked anything but fed up.
Well, I think it's important to remember that I've been doing this 7.5 years. It's like people think there hasn't been challenges there. I can assure you every year's a challenge. I say it all the time. I try and be open and honest, and you've known me a long time. I try and call it how it is. That's all it was. I called it how it is. And as I said last night, people suggested that it was the first time in 7.5 years. Well, if I was a board member or a chairman, I'd be pretty happy with that if my manager was only asking me questions once every 7.5 years. But there's lots of challenges here, and sometimes you've got to remember, got a group of players asking questions as well. So sometimes they have to see the manager, make a statement and stand up, because they've got to know that you're with them as well. But the main thing for me is to have a bond, and it's through the club. And sometimes that gets stretched. It's simple as that. And on this occasion, it's been stretched. It's simple.
But not broken, just stretched.
No, we're getting on with business. That's what we do. I still I'm a professional, it sounds ridiculous, but I do remind the players of that. It says on your passport, professional footballer. It doesn't just say footballer. So, there is that as well. There's a professionalism inside of yourself. Certainly last night, nothing was going to get in the way of my professionalism with the team, regardless. And you saw the players acting professionally and responsibly to take away some of the noise around all these situations and get on with it and deliver a performance. And, without being a classy performance, it was still a performance that was enough to win a game.
Yeah, but it's also a performance by the same group of players twice in the space of 4 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, marvelled at that, as I do, though. I mean, boiling hot, the fitness, the endeavour. I think we ran 5K in the first game more than anyone else. Obviously, it's difficult at Man City. You often run more because they keep the ball so well. But still, 5K is a lot. You're looking at nearly half a player's distance if you're looking at 5.5, 6K. So, and then to repeat that and go and run hard again, even under some pressure as well from Watford, credit to them as well. The second half, the first 20, 25 minutes, I thought we were pretty dominant first half, but they really put the pressure on us. And to see through that and then still find that way to grow back into the performance and nick a good goal, I think I'm very pleased with that. And as you rightly said, same group of players, putting them out there and going, no excuses, lads. This is the task. This is what we're going to do. What's
the prognosis on Jay Rodriguez? Have you got him in for Monday, do you think?
Yeah, we were getting him off anyhow. He got a knock on the ankle, but he felt his hamstring. Now, we're hopeful it's nothing serious. I'll find out more later today, but we hope it's nothing serious. So it's a decision. Obviously, we're running out of players rapidly, so we had to take him off regardless. I wouldn't want to take him off normally, especially in a game that's tight like that, because I thought he had that way about him last night where you just think he might nick another one. And we had to take him off. So I'll find out more today, but I'm hopeful that it's not drastic.
And Robbie Brady and Chris Wood, I mean, they appear to be at the kind of front of the queue. Are they any nearer to being involved, perhaps?
Robbie's just got a minor sort of stretch on his adductor, so we're hopeful he might train this week again. We're waiting on that. I'll find out more, like I say, that, today when they've been assessed. Any time now, actually, I should be getting a call from the physios. Woody's doing well. He's in front of the curve, but we're just having to be careful because we want him right, obviously. and Barnsley's behind the curve, so that's going to be a little bit yet. But no, Woody's going along nicely, and Johan's going well as well. But like I say, Johan's had a funny time with a tricky sort of calf situation where it just keeps niggling. So yeah, again, we've got to give him more time than we probably normally would to make sure he's strong and fit enough to come into the team and actually deliver.
And at the risk of upsetting you, people will talk about motivation now. You've got 42 points on the board, but that would offend you, wouldn't it? Anyone talking about motivation and deck chairs and that sort of stuff?
No. You understand the train of thought. It's been a strange time for me, strange time for the players. We are limited with the squad numbers. So, I'm not going to start saying anything other than my intention is to play hard and play strong. I think the team will go about it in the right way. We normally do. But the first... nothing's statistically done yet, of course, but 42 points at this stage is a fair marker, and especially with so many question marks coming out of the COVID situation, and then getting a well beat against Man City, and then all that went on. I think to come through that is a real testament to the professionalism of the players. So we'll park that now, and we'll get on with the next games as they come.
And final point: 12th clean sheet of the season last night in the Premier League. Only Liverpool and City have got more. How proud are you of that?
Well, to be honest, the balance, I'm proud of that, but I'm also proud of the fact I think we're the 5th highest in wins. So I've always said, it's one of them funny things. People said, we defend to counter. We try and win, We do try. It's just that the other team are often very good. And it's hard to get out of that counter position because you peg back. And, 12 wins is a decent tally at this stage of the season. So, I'm happy with that as well. And the balance you're looking for is quite obviously, keep clean sheets and score a goal, you've got a very good chance. And we've done that well. Mostly over the season. We had a real tough spell, as you know, but we came out of that, with a real strong spell. So that's often the case in our seasons. It's very rare it's smooth sailing all the way through, and this certainly hasn't been. But we're at 42 points and 7 to go. So if we had a few more players back, I think we'd be in very good shape. As it is, I still think it's going to be a challenge over them 7 games for the group that we've got.
Hello, Clarets fans. Phil Bird here. Make sure you subscribe to Burnley's official YouTube channel and turn on notifications, otherwise you might miss moments like this. Oh, what a goal! And Wood was there to finish it!
Just spit Glenn Little, look.
We hope you enjoyed the video and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Up the Clarets.